hoping that we get one more of those series here, perhaps with a 3-2. And we're opening things up on Echo Isle of all maps.
And here we start in the top left, in the red, the legend, the GOAT, the 5th race is Moon.
His opponent in the top right, in the yellow, playing human from South Korea as well. It's Chaemiko. And we've talked about how many mind games there are going into the games as far as game planning, what hero you want to go into. Echo Isle is such a different map than the rest in that Mountain King first here somewhat counters Warden. There is also that Ancient of War location here on the left-hand side that Moon went for, where if you send one of your first peasants, you can actually get a cancel on that, which is disastrous for the elf. Moon plays the mind game of, you think I'm not going to make the Ancient of War here, so you're going to cut the corner of not sending a peasant there, and because of that, I'm going to make the Ancient of War there because I'm just way too smart for it. I'm playing 4D chess over there, and I got 600 IQ, and it works out pretty well in that. That Ancient of War is not going to get cancelled, and he's going to get the safe Warden opener, but perhaps Chaemiko factored that in, and he has a follow-up plan.
Yeah, Todd, I think you're exactly right. 4D chess is the name of the game. We saw Moon already in the group stage against Lawlight specifically with the mind games. You always seem to come out on top. Remember that game on Autumn Leaves, where Lawlight surprisingly went for the Warden, got countered by the Demon Hunter. Moon seemingly always knowing what's going on. Chaemiko thinking this is not going to occur. Moon anticipating it beautifully, goes for the Warden after all. And Chaemiko, you know, in the past on this map, he would oftentimes go for an MK instant expansion, but not here anymore. Is that out of the meta? Is that a special adjustment? Why do you think that is?
I think you can do it, but you shouldn't do it every game, because then otherwise you become easily counterable. We've even seen Moon go for Demon Hunter when he was convinced there was going to be a Mountain King, but usually Moon, when he opens like this, he'll get a Tree of Life here in the location where his Ancient of War is right now, shortly after creeping this, and he'll make sure he has enough Wisp nearby to not get that tree ever cancelled, and he'll just get his own fast expansion, obviously after the humans. Chaemiko, he's doing the creep route you're supposed to do to counter Warden. He went straight Expo, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be harassing immediately after, maybe even picking up a Staff of Teleportation to not only have that for himself, but also take it away from Moon.
First creep camp done by both, and as you say, we're going to have the fast expansion here for Chaemiko. It's going to have the gold for that in just a moment. Items, of course, relevant always in WarCraft, and will be the same here in this series. Both starting off well with the Claws +9 on the Warden and the Circle of Nobility on the Archmage. Especially for chasing down kills, finding those kills on the footies and getting the experience, the Claw's going to be very valuable. And I guess the next point of interest or priority for Moon is going to be setting up that counter expo.
Yeah, he did go up in the location I mentioned earlier here where there was the first Ancient of War. Because he killed that Footman, Moon is already 2.4. That's very worrying because, you know, just a couple snipes here and there, and then you're 3, and that's the big power level of the Warden, where usually you'll see Fan of Knives level 2 to start harassing. Also could be Shadow Strike level 2 if there are Arcane Towers already set up and he feels like he can't do any economic damage just yet. And Chaemiko, not that long ago, it was I think in the last DreamHack that we had online, remember the one game that he played against Moon on Echo Isle? It felt like Moon was doing well all game, but then when they were both at 80 supply, Chaemiko broke into 100 and Moon saved 3,000 gold. And he actually ended up dying against the attack of Chaemiko. So that's something that I'm sure is still on his mind and he's really going to want to pay attention to, not to repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. As an ILF, you have to be very aware when to transition, what's the right thing to do. And Moon, we've mentioned his genius multiple times, can normally rely on his instincts and on his game sense to do just that. Lots of claws here all over the place. Also for the Archmage, he bought them from the marketplace. Doesn't have that level 2 still. So still no aura. Mana regen on him very low at the moment.
Can he get level 3? Is there a deny? Oh my god, that was level 3 Warden right here. And because of how much mana he has and the Archmage being around, I actually think he would have gone Shadow Strike 2 here to just nuke that Archmage and force the Town Portal or even kill it. It's very snowbally. You know, when you go Warden like this, you want to rush to level 3. And then because of that, you take complete map control, you rush to level 5, you start harassing peasants with Fan of Knives level 3, and then you get level 6 and that very important avatar in the spirits.
He's not using Shadow Strike here. Isn't that a bit weird? I guess he's waiting for level 3, but the IM in the meantime will be able to get that staff, most likely, and the boots. And he's off, safe and away. Perhaps a little opportunity missed here by Moon, not wanting to use the level 1 Shadow Strike. But anyways, now he is level 3, does have the boots.
The Archmage. The Archmage! He's only level 1, so losing it is not the end of the world, but it's also that any amount of experience here will matter. And like I said, that Warden, you can't really let it level. Getting the Archmage deny will be big here, but I don't think he can. I think he's going to take with the next bit of damage. And that's going to be Warden going up to 3.4 against an Archmage that's not even level 2 yet.
And the Warden, of course, is very snowbally, as you said, very level dependent. If she gets up to high levels, she can absolutely take over a game, but she needs those levels to achieve just that. 3.4 already, quite scary what she's going to bring to the table here soon, I would imagine. And this Archmage, yeah, you say at level 1, doesn't take long to revive. When are you going to get worried, though, for this progress on the first hero for the human?
I think like if he... The problem is that if you keep getting nuked, which is why Chaemiko didn't initially Town Portal. He wanted to save that for maybe later on, you know, when he gets level 2, when he gets level 3. That might be his escape against chain nuking. Moon, much like Foggy plays on this map, is going to seek out the Archmage all the time now. But thanks to that staff still, actually, Chaemiko is going to be able to get back across the map and start harassing the creeping on that expansion.
Uses the TP to come back home. He saw Chaemiko coming in. Doesn't want to lose this expansion. This is very important. This Archmage still not level 2. He really wants the kill on the Shadow Priest, but good control by Moon, as, of course, as always. Not allowing that to occur too easily. Archmage off the side. Does he finally get it? Yes, he does. Last hit for him. Finally level 2 and the Aura. But the Warden, in the meantime, closing in on level 4 already.
Yeah, just 1 or 2 kills will do it here. Gonna start working on the Archmage immediately. The Footman is probably what he should be killing, I feel like, to get level 4 a little quicker. Yeah, starting a lore next to the human army. Not sure about this one here. That's probably going to be an easy cancel on the first one that he's going to have to remake more at the back. There's still a creep at the Expo attacking the tree, by the way, which is starting to go lower in hit points. Moon needs to be careful with this and really clear that out. Chaemiko almost helped him here. He's like, wait a second.
Yeah, super aggro play by Chaemiko. He just crept one camp this game, then tried to get damage in. Didn't succeed too much, I guess, but is going to be delaying the expansion here if he cancels the Entangled. Well, actually, I don't think he's going to have the damage to do that. Tier 2 now finished for Chaemiko.
Yeah.
What is the roadmap? What is he looking forward to? Is he going to push out that big 70 supply Tier 2 army? Is Tier 3 on the table? What are we expecting?
Yeah, the question is always what's second hero? It's usually between an Alchemist and a Blood Mage. Alchemist will be forced to TP out here, but there is Castle started instantaneously by Chaemiko. This tells me he might want to go air here. But he started the Mount Tanking. We saw Hawk previously against Lowlight on Shadowgrave try Mount Tanking second, and it's not working out at all with the castle play. But he was playing with the ground army. He wasn't going air. Here, I'm not sure yet what it is. It's kind of looking like air. Chaemiko is going to wait until he gets a bunch more lumber to start some sort of tech, and he's towering up his expansion quite a bit.
I'm always a big fan of human Tier 3. The caster and tri-hero combination, the big army in the end, can look very devastating. Mass Air, I feel like has been looking a bit underwhelming lately. Chaemiko, not going for any Sanctums yet, does seem to want to go into that Mass Air style here, right?
Yeah, usually when you go air here, it's always the question of whether you want to go more Dragon Hawk heavy to counter Dryads, which in this game is very delayed. He might just want to be rushing some Griffins in the first place. No, he starts Workshop. He's going to be playing tanks. Oh, with this. This Archmage having a really irritating game so far. Just getting nuked all over the place the whole time.
Does still have the heal pot, so I guess he's safe for now. Against the Warden, she doesn't have too much mana anymore. Gonna have to fall back to the Moonwells. Yeah, the Warden, very good at nuking heroes, controlling the map. Also fellow knives against units, very good. But of course, the weakness against tanks. The units that are mechanical, she can't deal with them too well. Oftentimes, for that reason, we're gonna see her being paired with a Panda. But Echo Isles, not so many creeps to go around. Yeah. If a Panda was added, it's gonna be very hard to creep him up.
You'd really want to go for like Warden 5, Warden 6, and not really add any sort of second hero for a very long time, usually there. And Chaemiko tries to steal the entire Merchant here. He gets the Ogre that's there, the Mauler. Moon shows up to try and disturb that. Maybe Moon should have played more conservative and then just crept. Maybe even the small green at the top, the one at the bottom, to get closer to 5. And I'm a little bit surprised because I haven't really seen him scout much of anything here as far as the main base of Chaemiko, who is now tier 3. He can start double tank production right now if he wants to. He's going to prioritize a Paladin up first.
And he's getting Ironforged swords. So the melee attack upgrades for the units, pointing towards Knights, Breakers.
Yeah.
This is something I think I haven't seen yet, this human style, especially on Echo.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of the Terna stand games that we used to see, where that was the standard, right? You made it very awkward. Like, for a long time, humans were either going mass tanks or they were going army. And then this hybrid style came out on Terna stand where you would just get a few tanks, click on the Moonwells, try and take those out so that the Night Elf cannot heal up and replenish, and also even like go further in supply. And then you just get this army of Nightbreaker to counter bears, and mix in some mortars if there's a lot of dryads, for example. We do see the first 2 tanks here. The question is he going to keep making them? Are these first 2 tanks really to just click on Moonwells? Of course he went for the +1 attack immediately for those. That's going to make them even better.
And we saw the Tome of Retraining on the Warden, now going into Blink Fan, something that's especially very popular once you get level 5 to jump into the Peasants and harass them, kill them over and over, especially in Echo Isles, where there's no Zeppelin to protect them. It's very, very strong.
Yeah.
But she's still far away from 5, and this was the big goal for Chaemiko, right? Keep harassing, even if you're going to end up super low level, which he is 2-1-1 on his heroes, all to make sure the Warden doesn't get that level 5.
It's also about countering the Mountain King here with stumbles, because for a long time, you know, Mountain King, that was the staple of human as second hero. You would always go for that, and he was considered to be good against Warden. But then elves really learned to time the blink really well to dodge the stumbles and also stay max distance from the Mountain King to make sure those stumbles never land. And then you almost render that spell that was supposed to counter you completely useless and counter it really well. So Anti-Magic Potion is now here. Archmage almost 3. Picks up a greater mana here. That's pretty good. If you can get MK3, always very useful.
Chaemiko almost closing that surround against the Warden. But as you said, there's Blink, so it doesn't really matter that much. The Bear Dryad army, really strong right now. Chaemiko early on engaging to the fight. Going for the Warden once again. She blinks out, uses the fan.
Oh, the tanks are at the Expo at the same time. Moon is repairing the gold mine at his natural to make sure he doesn't lose that.
Gonna have to TP over to clean up these tanks. Repairing the Entangle doesn't cost any resources because the Entangle itself doesn't cost anything.
Is that his level 5 if he kills both? That would be a lot of XP. Tanks used to give 40, now they give 65 experience. What's that Warden? 4.6, probably gonna go to at least 4.7 there.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, he might just make it only 2 tanks and it's gonna call it a day.
4.8!
That seems to be the case. She's very close now to 5 indeed, but I think what Moon really wants is at level 6. The Warden's ultimate, the Avatar of Vengeance, one of the best in the game, can be a game winner. Warden coming in, low HP. The rejuve was stolen. Actually lands on the Paladin. That's perfect. Healing up the 3rd hero right now.
Give me that. I'll take that rejuve. Archmage still only level 2. Warden so close to level 5 here. 1 or 2 more kills will do it. Not much mana to work with right now. There's the Moonwells at the back, but that one bear that was being targeted drank all the juice, Remo. He left nothing for the homies.
That's a selfish drinker. I mean, if anybody knows about that, it's me. Chaemiko pushing forward, looking for more kills. Doesn't have that much mana anymore. MK is here, responsible for the damage. Would love to have Clap level 2. Isn't quite there yet. Only level 2 on the MK as it is. Archmage close to 3. Chaemiko going to TP out, trying to save the rest of the unit. Stormbolt on the Warden nicely to control her. Disallow the next pair of knives. And did everything survive in that fight? I'm not sure if anything died,
I think Moon saved almost everything. Maybe he lost 1 unit.
That was sick.
He definitely lost the Moonwell because his supply blocks. But yeah, that tank at the Expo will get sniped. That's going to be even more experience. I mean, Moon just got 5, so it's not like he's close to 6 yet. But any bit of experience counts. You don't want to deny that with the Ancient of War. 5.2 immediately. Went from 5 to 5.2.
And the thing is now, with level 5, Chaemiko knows the Warden might jump into the Peasants right away. In the main and at the Expo, the Peasants are now in danger, so there's a big incentive for Chaemiko to keep being aggressive to protect the economy with that move.
Yeah, this puts pressure on you to attack sometimes, because you just know that if you sit back and you creep and you play standard, you're just going to be the one being attacked all the time. Very curious to see whether he goes Water Elemental level 2 here. Usually with Tri-Hero, you wanna prioritize Brilliance. Usually that will be in the form of Brilliance level 3 when you get 5, but now he does go Brilliance level 2 on his Archmage 3. Yeah, the Warden will get
the Peasant.
Even
2 denies! He only got 1 last hit. Gets 2 more though. Blink Fan will do it. Cost her all her mana and the Invul Potion. But with those kills, you want to slowly creep up to level 6, right? And by creeping, I mean, you know, creep forward towards level 6. But still missing quite a bit for that.
Yeah, Moon didn't even wait until he had an anti-magic potion here. He just went for it. He was like, I want some experience now. I want to keep you at home while I get my own 80 supply. And he's pumping out a lot of Dryads and Bears. I saw that Chaemiko is adding Mortar, so those Dryads might be in danger. Moon is one of the best elves in the world, if not the best, at dodging Mortar shots, usually. And I know it's a risky statement, because he might just sit there and get splooshed away in the next fight. But he's usually very, very good at that.
Waiting for the cooldown on the heal scroll. It's a big deal. And the Archmage doesn't get it. Has to run away with the Warden there. Moon with the next aggressive move. Army running across the map. Might be hitting the main, while the Warden could be hitting the expansion. That might be a great move, but the mortar teams are in the main, ready to defend.
Oh my god, he sends the army in the main. Moon is everywhere. He's like, you wanna attack my expo and my main at the same time? Let me show you how that feels. Except it's not gonna be two tanks being somewhat useless attacking your gold mine. No, you're losing every peasant instantly at the expo. In the main base, you're forced to send your entire army. They are trying to catch some units, actually. An archer, not the best catch. It's like when I go fishing, Remo.
You go fishing?
Garbage. I did a long time ago.
You know, I wanted to start going fishing with my friends in mines, and they told me that's the most stupid idea ever. I got many of those.
We're WarCraft players, Remo.
It's level 3 on the MK. I think it's go time now. Chaemiko can't just get picked apart by this Warden. Good surround, takes out the Knight. I think he has to keep going. With the mortar teams, he's got a lot of siege damage, building kill potential with his army.
I think the Mortars is like the full potential of this army. The thing is, they're going to be targeted. When you have the Warden here, where's that little gift?
Item on the ground.
Circlets. Nice.
Keeps happening.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
If the Mortars can start killing Dryads left and right, like, of course, there's no slow to worry about. It's not about water elementals, but the experience is what's going to be scary. That Paladin, if it gets through, it's going to be so much more powerful. Warden, anti-magic potion use. He blinks at the back, forces a healing scroll immediately. There is still one more left over on the mount attacking. Moon, can he defend this? That might be game if he can defend this and get level 6 in the process, but the Warden's getting targeted. He might have to town portal.
Use the Fan of Knives, hoping for that level 6. He's so close to level 6. Now he has it. But no mana at the moment to use the ultimate. Has to get back to the Moonwells. Staff will have to be used sooner rather than later. Big mana potion on the MK. Clap coming in as well. Stormbolt on the Warden, but she is safe. Not getting targeted here too hard. Where's the old Moon? You need mana for that Avatar.
And the Mortars are gone. Those Dryads, they can roam free. They can slow down the entire army here with their poison and spares. Warden replenishes some mana. Avatar is in the fight. Chaemiko, thanks to his multiple staff here, he's got 2 of them. He's saving a good amount of units, but he's not really about to kill that much here. Maybe he's some of the front line with the bears. Actually, that next clap does a lot. The breakers synergize so well with the knights.
The Pally got the level 3. That's a huge level up. The Holy Light now helping out tremendously. Warden jumps in again. One more Fan of Knives. It might be the last one. Stormbolt to protect her as well. She's getting drained by the breakers. Chaemiko might be able to do it despite the ultimate. Avatar in the back taking lots of damage. Summoned lots of spirits already at the supply count we see. Chaemiko is far ahead, but this is Warden ultimate. You can never counter out.
Yeah, Chaemiko has insane upgrades. He's got 2/2 on the knights, +1 attack he had for the mortars, even though like most of them are gone by now. On the other side, Moon also has 2/2 on Dryads and Bears, but those evaporated here. The Vintage Mountain King making a reappearance here. Multiple claps. That Pendant of Energy and the Greater Mana did so much for him. That was an absurd amount of claps in a row here that Chaemiko had, and he really wore this Night Elf army down to the fullest.
Perfect drops for Chaemiko right when it counts, and the Warden just seemed to be level 6 a bit too late, but Chaemiko gonna fall back. He did blast through his 2 heal scrolls. He wants new ones. If there's 2 scrolls in the shop, that would be huge. But I think there's only one. He gets the one, gets the TP to be safe. But again, if Chaemiko slows down here and starts creeping or something, the Warden will once again demolish this economy with the peasants.
Yeah, keep in mind that there is pressure on Chaemiko to be the offensive player because he expanded earlier. So there's always going to be a bit more gold on Moon's sides because of that later second base. But I don't think he minds here. With how much he has saved, he's going to be able to get to 80 supply a lot more easily than Moon. Another item on the ground, man.
Dude,
it really is Christmas.
I was about to say, there's another item on the ground. Is this some kind of Swedish tradition that I'm not aware of? It keeps happening. Here in Stockholm, where our best WarCraft players in the world have gathered. Warden Invis, looking for more kills against the peasants, but she sees the attack coming, and that is quite the terrifying army that the human has managed to build. Close to 80 supply, 2/2 upgrades with strong hero levels behind it.
Moon is getting a lot of Dryads right now. He's not adding more Bears. That's kind of weird because he doesn't have to worry about slow. That might be the mistake. I'm not sure why he's doing this. He knows he's going to be able to get rid of the Mortals, but the thing is the Dryads are not that great at targeting down Knights and Breakers. He's repairing maybe a little late here. I don't know if that tree will go down. Forces his staff on one of the Mortals here. And he's coming in from behind to try and defend. The 2 Enchanter 4 might help quite a bit.
Archmage!
Can he keep the tree alive? He snipes the Archmage.
Oh, no!
That's the hero with the Town Portal. Those units might be stuck. That might have been the plan all along. Now he can slow down everything with the spares and the poison.
Big mistake by Chaemiko. He used the Hoylite, or tried to. The arm was already in the air, but he was a bit too late. Has to get back to the tavern. He has the resources to instant revive the Archmage, and there he is. But that was a huge kill for Moon, perhaps the way back into the game for him.
He's gonna force a Town Portal. This is a great defense. Honestly, I looked at this attack, I was like, okay, well, good luck holding that one. That's gonna be really tough. Moon now Warden 7.1. He's got Blink level 3. He's gonna be like Vegeta and Sangoku, man, blinking all over the place. Landing combos. And he's actually, I love that he halted the upgrades because he realized he needed more units first. But now immediately after holding, he's like, I can get +3 attack. I'm safe enough. I'm gonna be able to make it to 80 shortly after anyway.
And that's gonna be fully maxed out Bears with 3/3 upgrades. Very strong. They're gonna have Roar most likely as well. It can be stolen by the Breakers, but only if there's mana. We'll see how that one goes. Chaemiko creeping the last camp. Archmage, by the way, still not level 4. Not creeping with him. Wants to get that MK4, I suppose. Claws +9 at this point is whatever. As the Dryads find a kill, and so does the Warden.
What ifs, Remo? It's still nice. Actually, committing the Avatar to the main base here, that's interesting because Chaemiko might just say, okay, your Avatar is not on your side of the map. I can just attack. It's not going to be there to help you in the fight. I think that's what's going to happen here. He's like, okay, all right, you want to attack my main base, you want to wreck my economy, go ahead. I'm going to attack your expo, and this time I will break you because you will not have the Avatar defensively. Some big levels around the corner. I talked about how there's a lot of Dryads, but those might end up dying, and then Archmage level 4, or which will be level 4 by then, would have Water Elementals level 2 doing a lot, and that Pala level 4, Devotion level 2. Oh, baby.
Whew. Give me that protection. Bonus armor here on the Knights is going to be really high. The Warden with the Fan of Knives trying to circumvent that. Dryads coming in from the back. The more team's going to be exposed. Who's going to come out on top? The Mortars or the Dryads? Perfect defensive position for Moon. Beautiful flank. The Ancients of War also helping. Also great concave on the Bears. This looks like an impossible fight for Chaemiko. Can he manage to do it though? He's down in supply already. Earlier with a turning supply lead for the human. Now the shoe is on the other foot. More teams coming in again, but the Dryads catching them instantly. The Warden, though, has to be careful. Can't fall! 20 HP! Oh my god, the TP. At the very last moment, he rebought that TP, crucially. The Bears were not part of that TP. They're trying to run away right now. Avatar still busy in the main. Agents of War getting taken out. Chaemiko down in supply by 14. Regent Scroll beautifully running right now, healing him up, trying to take out that Expo. As you mentioned, his expansion is going to run out way sooner. Chaemiko has to get big damage done now.
Yeah, those Dryads did fantastic in zoning out the Mortars. That's what he goes for every single time immediately, because then he knows that his Dryads are going to have free reign. Chaemiko is coming into the tree. If he doesn't get this, it's going to be a disaster. He's about to lose so many units. I mean, even if he gets it, Moon could move the one from the main base, but he will be able to get it just before getting out here. And he really hasn't killed much. That Palace started the fight 3.7, he's now 3.9. The economy in the main was shut down the entire time. The gutsy move by Moon, by the way, to commit to the main base with the Avatar and say, I will still be able to defend back home. That's what makes him the best of all time, is that he can take those risks, he can make those calculations and still be correct. Get the defense eventually on his expo, even though he lost the tree. Guess what? The main's mined out anyway, he can just move his main.
Main for Chaemiko not quite mined out yet because of all that harass we saw earlier. It does look pretty disastrous once you don't have income anymore, but honestly, Moon lost no army, so he doesn't have to remake right now. He's still at 80 supply, aware of how strong he is. But now we have 4 hero levels on the human side. If Chaemiko keeps on trading well, he might still be able to do it. Even down in supply, somehow there's still a green camp left over here. But if we can take a look at the natural for Chaemiko at the gold mine, there's not going to be much left here, I think. Yeah, about 1,000. He's got 2 minutes, Todd. 2 minutes, more or less, to win this game.
And he's still the one that has got to attack. He's the one that's got to attack because he's got less gold. Moon's going to be mining more, so it feels like Chaemiko is the one to have to make something happen. The problem is Moon defensively. He has Moonwells. He has quite a few extra wisps now that he mined out the main base. He might use that as well for some detonates on his Tri-Hero. It's such a weird game in that also, like, we got, like, I guess, Breaker Knights with Mortars, but absolutely zero casters the entire game, so there's nothing like Inner Fire or Slow. And triple staff now for Chaemiko, but I mean, you can save 3 units, 6 units. You're still gonna have to try and break the opponent when you go to the other side of the map and attack. You'd almost want to sell the staff here and replace them with more units, more scrolls, and just commit to one single big attack, which is either gonna make or break here this first game. And what a game to start the playoffs with.
Absolutely. Starting us off right on this Saturday. Heal scrolls should be available, right? Moon didn't get one. MK grabs it up, gets the one. Didn't have money for a second, if it is even available. Warden leading the charge, as so often. MK not in position to punish her with a Stormbolt. The Dryads, of course, have to be microed very well. If the more teams connect, it's going to be huge damage and quick kills. The ring is still there! Would somebody please pick up that ring? Thank you. No? All right, there we go.
A ring of all things. Hey, why not Farpad? I'm gonna help out a little bit. So couple mortars being produced now. He's got 2, he's making 2 more. And at this point, his army has got to be the bodyguard here for these mortars to try and carry. I cannot believe, how many Dryads has Moon lost this game? Probably, might be 0 or 1 or 2. I feel like I haven't seen a single Dryad die because he's been so damn good at getting rid of the mortar since that you'd almost wanna go for rifles. Or somehow, like, to kill these Dryads when they are coming in to snipe the backline.
Inner fire rifles?
I mean, if you ever go rifles, they have to have inner fire, obviously.
Bro, isn't that the truth? Chaemiko still waiting a bit here for more upgrades, maybe a few more items. This MK is going to be very strong. He's got full mana and a mana potion. That's going to be a lot of claps he's going to be able to use once you get that next heal scroll.
Oh, Moon's standing up.
But he's broke.
He's standing up the flank here. Dryads from behind. MK. Is he standing in the wisp yet? He's got a lot of wisps set up in the center.
Oh, the MK. He's stuck over there. Huge clap, though. And he does get out.
Okay, let's see if the mortars can finally connect. Moon not sending the wisp yet, but Chaemiko is sending the workers. He called the police. Militia coming in from the top.
Baby.
He's trying to get in a good position here to finally get rid of those Dryads early on, which they will give so much experience. Mount King might get 5 very quickly if he starts killing a lot of units there. Warden jumps the backline here. That's going to force a scroll very quickly from the Archmage to try and keep everything alive.
Holding on to it still. When's he going to be used? He used the staff first to save them. Heal scroll also on the Night Elf side. The Dryads in the middle of everything. Bears getting clapped. It's not going to come down to them, I guess. Avatar of Vengeance helping in the back. The Dryad positioning beautiful by Moon. As always, Archmage getting targeted as well. So is the Warden. Eats the Stormbolt. Looking at the supply. Moon far ahead. Still up at 80. He hasn't lost anything. But that might change in a moment. Archmage also close to falling. Oh my god, the Holy Light! Split second before the fan! And now the Warden is out of mana for now! Stormbolt coming in, right clicks, Archmage and drops still, Archmage dies again! Paladin didn't have mana anymore, the Wisp detonates Connect, and Moon may have finally done it. With the first Archmage kill, he got far ahead, and now with the second one, he might finish this game. Chaemiko completely broke. Can't build anything anymore, has to perhaps sell items to get this Archmage back, but it seems like Moon has done it finally.
Yeah, this escape with the Warden here didn't have a Town Portal, but Blink level 3 will be able to get him out of there. Mountain King sold some stuff. He's able to restart the Archmage back at home on the altar. He's trying to get on top of this tree here to snipe this and perhaps pull back after, but Moon, I think, he's healed up with the Moonwells. His full hit points and full mana on the Warden. He just has to clean up this army and he's done it here. So many Dryads. He saved all of the bears they ran left. Moon wins game number 1 here with the Warden completely out of control on level 9 at the end of this game.
Damn. Starting us off well into this best of 5. In our first game of the day, Moon, the GOAT, takes map 1, but boy oh boy, did he have to work hard for that one. The Warden works out here, Chaemiko. It seemed like he was in a good position. I really like how he was able to control the Warden, make sure she didn't get level 5 and 6 too quickly, and completely take over the game. That first Archmage loss, though, that was such a big mistake.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to have the Holy Light in time, but he was just a bit too late. That one mistake, breaking his neck seemingly in this game.
Yeah, there was this attack where Chaemiko, it felt like he almost broke Moon thanks to the Penance of Energy and greater mana, but then in every other fight, he just wasn't able to get anything going. And this is why usually when you face a Warden on this map, or just in general, you'll almost always see either an Alchemy second to try and out-heal the Fan of Knives for when the Warden dives the backline, or a Blood Mage for Flame Strike on the Bears and Mana Siphon on the Warden to really take a lot of her mana so that, you know, she doesn't keep on wrecking everything like she was here.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of things to consider here. We're going to throw it to Carson for a bit more analysis.
All right, thanks, boys. Yeah, so this was a very important part in the game. The Warden Level 5 here, as we can see, had just reached level 5, has that level 3 fan of knives in the blink now. And how do you get level 6 in the game? You can't keep creeping. Say it with me. 3, 2, 1, peasants, of course. So here we're going to see Moon go in for the first fan of knives harass. He goes in. He's going to blink in. He's got a potion of invulnerability. He's killing plenty of peasants here, but we see 1, 2 denies there from Chaemiko. Very, very crucial to get these denies right here, because he's denying, well, he's denying the level 6 from the Warden, so there's no Avatar of Vengeance later on. An excellent defense from Chaemiko, and Moon had to continue doing that, but eventually he did get the level 6, but look for this more on in the Warden games. It's a very crucial part of this sort of a game. All right, we got one more clip as well, and this is something that Moon is just fantastic at. So he's always with 2 control groups. We see he initially blinks in, but this isn't the end of it. He's always going for that back line. So we notice the Dryads as well on the map right here. We can see them right here on the map, and he's going to go in with them from the back. He's been pre-positioning them. He's fighting the militia up at the top, and then he brings them in. Very, very important to not directly fight. If he fights with these Dryads right here, just mainly on the army, they're just going to die to all the mortar teams down here. So he brings them in the back with the fan of knives, snipes all the mortar teams, and wins this fight super easily. And then look, no problem at all. Cleans up all that back line, easy peasy, level 7 Warden. What do you know? Clean game from Moon, very, very well done. And there we see just complete domination, easy peasy work. Warden really carries there, and we'll go back to the casters now.
Absolutely. The Warden being the late game carry, the one-woman army machine that can win a game for you, working out here well on the first map. Is that Warden problem now out of the question? Tearing us down the path, right? We saw Warden all the time, not part of the map pool anymore.
Yeah.
On the following maps, the Warden, can she even be played, or is that going to be done and dusted for now?
Probably not gonna see it, but it's Moon, you never know, right? Like, if you're on a certain map, especially Shadowgrave, which by the way was the second pick of Chaemiko, he prioritized that ahead of Conceal Hill, which was a bit surprising. By the way, Carson, big shout out, absolutely killed it as weatherman here. You can be my weatherman any day, Carson. 1, 2, 3 peasant, love that. What workout program would that be?
And even more.
Run and hide.
And even more peasant than that went down this game. Moon with the 1-0 lead. We're going to move on to map number 2. Tide Hunters. This one should be perhaps a bit less complicated for Chaemiko, as here certainly we're not going to have a Warden. Oh, a pause first. Sometimes we have issues here with the hosting, so a quick regame may be needed. It seems like that's the case. All right. Just a small break before we hop into map number 2. Tide Hunters definitely seems like a map where we can kind of expect a fast expansion, certainly from the human. I mean, that goes pretty much for all the maps. And the Night Elf counter expansion with the Keeper is the norm there nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Moon has been doing that for a long time. He also, for quite a while, was playing somewhat unconventionally a Tinker second, but not that much seen anymore, right?
Yeah, it didn't go so well, to be honest. Sometimes when he did this, he was even doing Panda first a bunch of times on this map, and then I think lost to about everybody almost doing it. So I think he might have given up on that. It was looking like a standard build at least. To this point, yeah, no, I expect a bunch of standard. I mean, on Echo Isle, this Warden style that we just saw is the standard. Like, you're not particularly supposed to go Keeper. It would be like unusual to go for a normal game with a Keeper and all that. Usually on Echo Isle, you know, you either go Warden or you say, I think the opponent will go Mountain King, and then you go Demon Hunter. But on most other maps, I expect to see a Keeper coming out and just a regular game plan from Moon.
If the map is really good for creeping, you can secure an easy level 3 and progression onward. The Warden is playable, perhaps some other heroes. But on most maps where creeping isn't so easy, the Keeper will be the choice. Perhaps somewhat falling off in the late game, but certainly extremely strong against footies in particular. And I believe now we are ready for map number 2. Moon spawning in the top left in the red. It is the 5th race himself.
Nice save, because you said his name first. His opponent in the yellow playing human, also from South Korea. It is Chaemiko. With the standard altar on the right-hand side, you always want to place your altar towards where you want to creep. So you should be doing the Sea Giant camp, the small orange on the right-hand side of his main, and usually immediately after you go for that expansion. Also a possibility of straight expo, but it's kind of fallen off a little bit on maps where you expect a keeper. You don't always have to creep that immediately, especially because of the chance you can get some good items, you know, some cloths, circlets, all of that. Let's not say the R words because I'm sick of that green item, Remo. I don't want to see it ever again.
Yeah, we don't want to overuse the R word. It's not appropriate in this day and age.
Ring.
Is it going to be the keeper? Yes, it is. Keeper first here.
Make a prediction on the items, Remo. Go ahead.
Glove circlet.
Basic.
Well, you go ahead then. Todd, what are you feeling? What's
One of them will get
what's in
ring
your
and one of
bones?
them will get claw. Dramatic.
Wow. If we're not building up the tension, I don't know who is. And we had lots of claws on the first map already. That really helped the Warden quite a bit. For the right click to find those kills, one after the next. And claws are always good on every hero. At these first small camps, claws and circlet are of course the best drops. Gloves are also decent. The ring, not usually what you want to have. Maybe in the late game, not so much in the early game. For the Night Elf player here, it's pretty easy to creep this one with the Ancient of War, but of course Chaemiko can creep it quickly as well with the help of the Militia circlet. Alright, if it's gloves, you gotta give me a high five.
I would, but I'm social distances.
Oh!
Distancing.
Pog! Alright, we gotta do it. Close to the mic so we can hear it.
Yeah, but no, but we don't touch though, because we're social distancing. Whoop! Hypothetical high five. Well done. Wait, he pulled the camp with the whiz. That's really cool, actually. He pulled it to the left-hand side, because usually people pull it to the right-hand side, right? Because if you do that, then the creeps are easier to actually go through and creep. Very well done by Moon. Looks like he wants to start a tree immediately. And second item will be a ring for him, and a claw on the other side for Chaemiko. The absolute dream here. He could even maybe buy one more at the marketplace here in a second, because Nightfall comes shortly after you creep that expansion here when you do this creep route.
Oh my goodie. Great start here for Chaemiko. The WarCraft gods have woken up and want us to have a long series. And I thank them. Would love to see a 5-mapper right here. Footy gonna get caught in the middle, or in the main, excuse me. But it will take a little bit to take that one out. Valuable scout info for Chaemiko, who can safely creep up here and get close to level 3.
It almost seems like a bit of a risk and a gamble that Moon took by moving back to his main base to get rid of the footman, because you're supposed to stay near your expo and make sure that he doesn't get cancelled. But I think his scouting has just been so good that he knew Chaemiko wasn't headed there. Now he sees a footman going up. He's trying really hard to secure keeper level 3. That's the right move. If you would have rushed over to harass Chaemiko there, especially with those items, Chaemiko would defend pretty easily. And then he'd be the one getting level 3 much earlier, and then just kind of bullying Moon and maybe even getting a cancel on the tree. Now, they both crept a little bit. They're both very close to level 3, and Chaemiko's moving in a position to try and maybe get a cancel on that tree, but he doesn't have the footman here.
These denies are so important, Todd. I think you were one of the first to really show the world how important they are. Oh. Nice deny secures the prevention of the level 3, and now the AM has the level advantage.
Gonna get surrounded. Okay, whew. If he had stayed here a little bit longer, when there's this many archers, the keeper and everything, would be very dangerous, especially because there is no Dust of Revelation, so you wouldn't even be able to get rid of the archers that shadow mailed if you target them.
It's absolutely true. Tech now starting for Moon, expansion just finishing. That's of course what this matchup normally looks like. The human expands faster, but the Night Elf techs faster. Gets the Watch Elemental now, and that's the level 3. And that now is going to be the strongest answer to the footies. Entangle doing 360 damage on level 2. That means 1 Entangle and 2 or 3 right clicks, and a footy is going to fall. And this makes being effective in the early game with Footman for the human very difficult.
Carlstone gave us the 1-2-3 Peasant. I think we're playing 1-2-3 Footman here now with all these Entangles, getting rid of all of them. Even going for the Water Elemental here, because it's like when you attack here, you can't really kill archers. Killing wisps, I guess, sometimes can work if you have enough units and some damage items, but cancelling that gold mine actually slows down the mining from it quite a bit, especially when it has to be restarted over and over. So it's kind of become the new thing, the new evolution, where players realized you could do that. And Chaemiko and Sok really at the forefront of showing how important that is in some of these games. Gets another claw. He has +10.
He sold the gloves. That's a bit weird. Must have done that
the gloves
earlier.
Are off now, Remo.
The gloves are off indeed. Probably to get gold that he needed for that telestaff when he was at the shop earlier. We now have a telestaff for Moon as well. Very mobile now with this Keeper of the Grove. Can move across the map, look for kills, get back to the Moonwells to man up again quickly. Archers going towards the expansion, cancelling that blacksmith for a bit. Defend, by the way, not researched yet, so these footies still having a tough time dealing with the archers.
Yeah, the keep timing was actually very decent given all things. It was Moonstack that was almost like delayed a little too much with the amount of Moonwells that he made first, wanting to play it really safe. I think he was really worried there might be some sort of cancel. So he really respected the potential attacks, even walled off, you know, somewhat his expansion with an extra Moonwell there. Now he's just going back on the Footman hunt, really preventing Chaemiko from doing anything. And Moon with his Keeper, like once he gets the second hero, is, I think, the best player I've seen at catching off reinforcements. It's like playing against like just a demon of some sort, you know, like whenever I faced him and he started leveling his second hero, every time he will just grab a Clarity like he just did here, replenish his mana and just catch units all the time. He makes that time before you have any sort of dispel feel like an eternity because he's just bullying you all the time with entangles.
We got a Panda second for Moon, trying to level up now his second hero. Chaemiko was moving to the Tavern for a second. May want to go for a Tavern hero himself. Could be a Panda for Chaemiko as well, right?
Yeah, on this map it's very common. It helps you compete better for the center. There it is. Great call, Remo. That's why they pay you the big bucks, even though you can't remember all 7 maps in the pool.
You know, I'm a very limited man, Tom, as you know. You know?
This is my favorite meme so far from this tournament, and Roddy started it of all people.
I'm a big fan of the Panda second and tier 3 play by the humans. I feel like this can be very strong in the late game. Takes a while to come online. Chaemiko showed the willingness already on map 1 to go tier 3. If you manage to get the big 80 supply army with Inner Fire and, you know, Sorg, Slow, all that, and a third hero, I feel this can be super, super strong in the late game. And this is a map big enough, with enough creeps, where I think triple hero can be supported. Of course, we're looking far down the stretch. With what I'm talking about, it's going to take quite a while if we do go there. We'll see if that's going to be the plan. What do you think, Chaemiko? Does he have to decide already soon whether he has to go tier 3 or not, or what's the situation?
Probably not, because usually nowadays when you go for castle tech, it's like a delayed one, at least in this type of game here. So I think it's just going to be double Sanctum, maybe even a workshop, and then once he has like 60, 70 supply, depending on how the game's going, then he'll decide whether he wants to even add any sort of castle at all. Or does he want to try and just do a big all-in push with a lot of peasants, scrolls, and all that?
We see a double Sanctum for Chaemiko, and also low lumber, so castle, at least at the moment, definitely not in the cards. But perhaps some kills. Panda looking for the next breath, gets 1 kill, almost a second, Archer denied. Only a little bit of experience so far for these Pandas on both sides. A hero that is quite level reliant and only on level 1 isn't that powerful yet.
Yeah, Chaemiko has been perfectly aggressive, really catching Moon in the center at the perfect time. And kind of making the leveling of his second hero non-existent at this point. I think the Ancient of War is set up near the lab now, perhaps? Moon is supposed to kind of move towards the bottom left-hand side, yeah, so he might be able to start engaging that. Chaemiko so far has guessed perfectly everywhere he had to go. I wonder if he keeps that up and he's able to actually follow this army. But now that there's this many Dryads, probably not worth it. It might be time to go and level himself, and this is what I was talking about. Like Moon, this Keeper is so threatening because you don't have Dispel yet. We see it in the production tab at the bottom. It's halfway through done. Look, a peasant at the front building in the workshop? I don't think so. He's going to target that immediately, take it out with the Entangle. And he's keeping the entire army back at home, whereas he's getting his Panda closer to level 3 in the meantime.
That poor peasant just wanted to build a nice little home for the border teams. Was denied,
peasant, man.
But you know, his legacy will live on. The house will finish with him in the afterlife. Level 2 finally for Moon on the Panda, and a very bad item. With those boots of Quel'Thalassi's not going to be happy. Chaemiko creeping the same camp. You want to, of course, get one of the auras.
Yeah, Quel'Thalas, not that useful. You can sell it, or you can maybe give it to the Keeper so he attacks a little faster. He's going to be the one carrying the orb here momentarily. Nature's Blessing being added and Wellspring. So Moon, you see, he's staying at 50 supply on purpose. He's trying to save at least over 1,000 golds. You shouldn't overdo it, especially in this kind of game, because human a lot of the time will stay on tier 2 and just pump out a lot of units. You see the 3 farms in production. That's because Chaemiko wants to go straight from 50 to 80 and then do a big attack I'm guessing at the expansion of Moon to try and break it.
Yeah, I could certainly see that. By the way, Scourge Bone Chimes dropped for Chaemiko. If I was in his shoes, well, firstly, I would have lost already. But right now, I would be like, all right, boys, time to go Knights. But he still doesn't have Lumber. Lumber here, the big issue for Chaemiko. Has he been a bit low on Peasant production, or is this all intentional with him wanting to stay on tier?
Yeah, I think he might have been. When you want to go castle, like, if you get towers as well, it's just so hard to have Lumber for everything. So, I think if you wanted to go castle, maybe you would have made only one Sanctum as well. So then it's like a lot of Lumber that you save on that, where you can start it earlier. But yeah, he's just playing the tier 2 composition here. Panda finally level 3 here for Chaemiko. Grabs a Crystal Ball. Just sell both.
Oh, he's got the staff to save that one as well, that Dryad. Dryads, of course, very fast, magic immune, very nimble. Oh, all right. Dryad actually slightly missed micro. That's going to be a rare sight for Moon.
Chaemiko killed more Dryads this game than he did in the entire last one, I think.
There's an item on the ground, Todd.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
That's unacceptable. It's gauntlets, though. Who cares? Moon's just trying to buy time here, by the way. Like, this is not missed movement of any kind. He's just like, okay, I need to get across the map, keep you on your side of the map so that I delay the timing that I know you want to go for. He's just reading the game so well. It's insane. Like, when I see Moon's games, I'm like, this guy has watched every single replay of the games that he's lost, maybe even the ones that he won, because he just understands the game on another level.
There's 2 rifles getting caught right there. This is another nice catch for him. He picks up the gauntlets, appreciates the 3 strength. I think that's nice.
He started a tree on the left-hand side. He's doing the Twisted Meadow style.
Oh yeah, ready to go up to 3 bases. Here is Moon, and Chaemiko stuck on his side of the map. The tower production perhaps started a bit too late. We saw the 2 towers at the expansion getting cancelled twice now, and the Dryads always have open season to go in there again. Moon does seem to be outmaneuvering Chaemiko here in this mid-game.
You know, I just understood what's happening, by the way, Remo.
And like,
Moon realized that Chaemiko wanted to play the tier 2 style with minimal towers, because instead of going towers, you're supposed to make units and then attack. So he said, if you don't have towers and you want to play the style, go ahead, attack me. I'll already be there on your side of the map, ready to attack your peasants. And you're going to lose your peasants and economy quicker than I lose mine. So I'm going to keep you on your side of the map just by making a lot of Dryads.
yeah.
And at the same time, I'm going to take another base, and then I'm going to completely outmass you and win a game with better supply and just more army in general. He's just, again, reading the game so well and doing something unconventional. Like, what other elf does this? I think every other elf, Foggy, Lowlights, Colorful, they would just play standard here. They would have just tried to build an army and defend the attack. Moon is like, nope,
Yeah,
I don't have to.
Especially from Lawlight, we saw that, right? I think Foggy has been playing this hit and run as well a bit lately, but probably inspired by Moon. This is one of the things he's so known for, Moon is. The Dryad play, the hit and run, the strategic genius of always knowing where to go and what to do. As you said, he just understands this game so well, it's unbelievable.
But Chaemiko also understands it well, because I think he reacted so well. I would have maybe lost patience and then just gone for the expo and lost all my peasants and then shouted about the imbalance and, you know, left the game without a GG. But Chaemiko was like, I can just add a bunch of towers now, delay my reaching of 80 supply, and then go for the timing after. He's even clearing out his turtle camp in the bottom left. And look at his towers now. This makes him so much safer against Dryads. I'm not sure why he's not spending his gold, though. I definitely feel like he should be at 80 already and getting ready to attack. But Moon triple healing scroll.
Yeah, that also means to come to a fight, Chaemiko would have a tough time having none of these scrolls. One tower getting cancelled. If the guard tower is taken out as well, it's again open season for the Dryads to run in here. This will, of course, cost a TP for Moon to get out. Or does he have double staff? Oh, no, he does.
Oh
he has the double staff. It doesn't even cost him a scroll, a TP, or anything.
The Dryads are getting in position to creep this with the tree, which he almost lost, but
Don't want to lose it.
nah,
And he doesn't. Nicely done.
Moon, bro.
It sure is. Chaemiko, I think you're absolutely right. I think he wanted to go for that attack, ideally on tier 2, but Moon slowed down the game so well, so Chaemiko now saying, all right, whatever, bro, I'm going to tower up, be safe, and go for castle, and now will be forced probably into the ultra late game. Chaemiko still sort of low on lumber. Should perhaps go for a shredder. That could still be a bit of a help.
Moon is so Dryad heavy. I think Chaemiko should have mixed in more rifles and less breakers. He's going to be forced to TP out. Jumps on top of the mortars immediately. Okay, some Dryads started dying here as well.
Yeah.
Chaemiko needs to mix in more rifles against this, because Moon's going to keep on doing this. He's going to break ranks, go to the backline immediately, and then try and Breath of Fire these mortars and target them.
And we see rifle production continuing as well.
Oh, Chaemiko's gonna get the reds. That's so smart, actually.
Oh, that's
He was like, oh, you're down there, I have to TP out, I'll go to my expo and then get the reds secured. There is some big item potential here. It's always gonna be Unholy Aura or one of the Orc Auras that's probably the best. I think War Drums, considering the army is building, might be the best item possible here.
That's going to be Panda, level 4 right here. Chaemiko may have to TP back once again as the Dryads coming into the main. Only 2 towers here. This is not enough to hold the main. Chaemiko will again have to TP. It's again going to be more gold out of his account. But he's got lots of that still left. I'm really starting to miss that Shredder. I gotta say, I feel like this should have been added. Medallion of Courage, great item for the Panda.
Yeah.
AM has to staff in and then TP home. And finally Moon will have to use that TP this time.
He needs to TP fast. If Chaemiko TP in the middle of everything, oh my god, Dryads that might die really quick. But he doesn't have that much rifles. Oh,
Panda!
The Panda! Oh, did he though?
But
Like, I wanted to stay there, leave me behind. I got this, I'll buy as much time as I can. But then he ends up killing everything himself. Fairy Dragon's being added already. Moon is just got everything covered. And with that extra base, his income's just gonna go out of control so fast. And if you look at the map, there's not even many crypts left. But Moon is like, 1, 2, 3 peasants. Let's go kill some militia.
Yeah, it's almost been the story of this game, right? Peasants dying, the human economy being slowed down, and with that also the attacks being slowed down. Tier 3 finished. What's Chaemiko gonna do with that? Frag shards right away, that makes sense. Insanely good upgrade for the mortar teams. But again, low lumber. I do realize I'm sounding like a broken record, but that Shredder should have perhaps been picked up. Chaemiko now can't add a third hero, is going for Inner Fire instead, and still doesn't have that 80 supply quite.
It's been a struggle for him this whole time. I'm surprised he didn't break up Keep earlier, try to go to 80 and then do a push, but I think he just wasn't content with the amount of scrolls that he had. Moon did such a good job. At some point, Moon had triple healing scroll and Chaemiko had only 1. Now, this army, good sieging power with the Mortar and Panda. That's why Moon's stamp portaling so fast. He wants to make sure he can defend against this. Everything's clumped up.
Oh, where the frag shard hits!
A dangerous moment. Oh my goodness, this is so much damage. Moon, of course, he has multiple healing scrolls to work with.
Using the first heal scroll right away. The big problem for Moon is he transitioned into Bears late. Of course, he played this hit and run with the Dryad, so his front line isn't that strong yet. More teams connecting quite well. The Dryad micro a little bit off at the moment for Moon. Needs to move them more, but they're flanking from the other side. And now a full surround basically once again by Moon. Keeper going in deep, real deep. And the human army getting assailed from every side, but still pretty healthy. And Chaemiko perhaps able to win this fight. Panda, low HP, but still has elbows available. And now Moon, no more mana on his Panda. Could transfer the mana potion, should do that right now. And Moon might be able to clean this up after all. Chaemiko has to TP out. What a scary attack this was. But Moon once again with a beautiful defense.
Moon's positioning and micro in these fights is unreal. He hasn't attacked the breakers once with the Dryads. It's only been the Mortars, then the casters. He just does everything so cleanly, it almost looks a little surreal here. And now he's got 77 supply against 59. Chaemiko only has 1 expansion. He's just, again, in a world of trouble. This is Echo Isle all over again. He has to try and get close to 80 as soon as possible and re-attack immediately, because all the pressure is on him to make something happen against the superior economy and army opponents he's facing. But at Panda level 5 might end up coming in real handy here.
They're fighting for the scrolls again. You said it. As on Echo Isles.
Where is his staff? Oh my god, the Panda's coming!
Archmage.
Oh my... What is going on?
Archmage wasn't moving, has to use the invul, does so, and with that, gets away. But the next heal scroll goes to Moon again. Is that a level 5 Panda? Not quite, but he's really close now.
He was greedy here. Why was he not going back earlier? Because the staff of teleportation was up on the Archmage, so as soon as he got entangled, he should have staffed out, but I think he was trying to stay a bit longer to try and get maybe one of the scrolls.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now Chaemiko, he has no healing scroll against the Panda. Almost level 5 from Moon.
Yeah.
And there is a greater mana on the Keeper that very easily could be transferred over.
Buys a new TP. Chaemiko does still have quite a bit of gold to work with, as the Keeper is looking for a bit of economy harass. Maybe a few more peasant kills, right? It's been fun already this series.
Maybe Chaemiko should like turn the script on its head and expand one more time.
Yeah.
And like we would have a reverse Echo Isle where like now it's for Moon to attack because Chaemiko has more gold to mine from. But because Moon expanded so early, he might just be able to go to 100s supply here momentarily and just have this absurd, I mean, triple chain
Oh my god. That would be the ultimate army if the Chimeras, the twin-headed dragons, join into the fun as well.
If you thought Mortars were doing bad in this series, wait until those Those twin-headed dragons join the fight. I mean, this is the perfect moment, to be honest, in reaction, because there is now knights and there is mortars. And there's not many rifles. There has never been this whole game, even though I think there should have been.
And Moon, he doesn't even have to save this expansion. He could perhaps sacrifice it to buy time for the chimp, but of course he doesn't want to let it die too easily. Dryads flanking from behind. Again, we saw this so many times on Echo Isles. Excellently done by Moon there already. Setting up from two sides. Gonna be tough for Chaemiko here to get the proper engagement.
What Dryads are you talking about? I only see SEAL Team 6 with precision strikes, Remo.
Oh, they're looking. They have the mortars in their scopes, ready to pull the trigger, squeeze it a little bit more, but actually they're gonna fall back for now. Moon, 2,000 gold off of 3 bases, of course. He's gotten rich and has bought enough time to now start with the chimp production. With this kind of bang, you're not worried about high upkeep.
And you know, his positioning, his current positioning and threatening of the backline is what's delaying this attack. If he wasn't doing this, if everything from the army of Moon was on the left-hand side, Chaemiko would have already attacked. But he keeps seeing this Dryad flank and with the keeper at the back, setting up perfectly. So he keeps thinking, okay, I can't go. Like, this guy's just too ready for the attack. So Moon, essentially, by doing this, he's making sure that he either gets a favorable engagement or he buys more time for the chimps to be there. He's even adding hippos to counter potential gyros.
Yeah, absolutely. Genius play by Moon, dude. Playing incredibly well. You mentioned the gyros already. That has to be the answer against the air, especially the chimps, and you need lots of them.
Yeah.
Chaemiko could add in like 12 gyros. That would be quite strong with flag cannons. Needs a second workshop for that. But the thing is, Moon already has the perfect counter in his hands with a Panda level 5.
The upgrade difference is insane this game. Moon is already 3-3 and has been for a while. Chaemiko is 1-0 on knights. And he has +2 attack for just 4 mortars and 2 rifles. Damn, those two rifles must feel special, man. That +2 in there, but yeah, Moon 3-3, just looking amazing. 100 supply, double heal scroll, greater mana, big invuln. At that Pena level 5, I mean, on both sides, he's ready to start a barbecue, but the one of Chaemiko is, it's going to be a tall order. Starts with a big connection, actually. Everything's clumped up here for Moon, so this is maybe the best possible engagement from Chaemiko, but surprise!
Surprise, friends, here come the chimps. Chaemiko not ready, seeing them flying in. The dragons ready to take the throne. Has the TP out, can do nothing now about these chimps, has not enough anti-air at all. Moon, how well is he playing this series? Unbelievable. He was avoiding almost every single fight this series, but controlling the map at every stage. And Chaemiko has to tap out with an 80 supply army, more or less. Chaemiko has to give up this game. Moon on 3 bases, 100 supply, the perfect army. And dare I say, perhaps the perfect game. What a performance by Moon. Unbelievable.
Dracarys it is, Remo. Goes for the backline yet again, this time not just with the Dryads, but even scarier units with the chimps. And the favorite, the fan favorite, the GOATs, is looking incredible here in our first match today. The highest earning player of all time with 700k. If he wins this tournament, would be almost an exact 750k. Not bad way to go home. I mean, I might be getting ahead of myself here, but he's just looking so incredible. And what a story it will be if he kept on playing as well as he has been here. And I don't see any reason why it might stop.
Yeah, this year it's been pretty even between the two. It was 3-3, a perfect even split 50% win rate, but here in this series, when it counts most here at the DreamHack finals in the quarters, Moon far ahead, 2-0 lead. Match point now for him. Can Chaemiko bring it back or not? We'll see in a bit after the break.
The DreamHack WarCraft Free Championship is brought to you by Norton Gaming and Coinbase.
Welcome back, my cool cats and kittens. It's 2-0 for Moon. I wasn't sure if you watched it. Yeah, I think you did. Moonto up in this series, match point now for him, looking about as devastating as we know him to be. Chaemiko, in the past, he looked pretty decent. We saw him before in DreamHack, was able to beat Moon previously, but here so far, it's all in the Night Elf's hand. Yesterday the Koreans were saying, it's only half Moon outside in Sweden. Is it really his time? It seems to be. We see him in the bottom left, in the red. The legend close to the win is Moon.
His opponents in the northeast playing yellow. As yellow in the as the human race, it is Chaemiko. Moon plays for Vision Strikers. I tell you what, those Dryads, they were seriously Vision striking real good on the Mortals last game.
Does that make sense?
No.
Sort of.
But that's why I said it.
Good attempt, Dodo. Not bad, Todd. We're going to let that one slide. Keeper first this time. All right, going to be going with the standard, I guess you could say, once again. We've been seeing Lawlight and other elves at times try the Warden here. Moon, not necessarily that much of a Warden player. Of course, we saw the map 1, Echo Isles. That does make sense, strong Warden map there. And going for the green camp. Lots of different options here for the Night Elf to start creeping. You can go to the green like we see here, or to the natural, or to the merchant. All are possible, but this is the most conservative of all approaches, right?
Yeah, what Chaemiko does on this map is that he scouts, he does the small green camp to the left side of his main usually. And then if he sees the Night Elf doing the Merchant first, then he takes the expansion in the top left. Against everything else, he takes the Natural, the one right under his main base. So, because Moon is doing the safe creep route, and I mean, he's up 2-0. Like, there is different type of players. Some of them think they can maybe take a little bit more risk when they're up 2 games. And they know they have 3 match points, but Moon not necessarily going to be that guy. Maybe Lawlight would be,
Yeah, Lawlight, we're going to see him later on today. He's going to have his chance against Foggy in the Night Elf Mirror.
When Lawlight's up 2-0, you're getting either a Tinker or Firelord in game 3, like something along those lines.
I'm predicting for Foggy to slaughter him there, but that we'll find out about later.
Dude, the potential matches in the semis, my god. We could get a Moon happy. So many crazy matches we could get. Even the quarters are just insane themselves. What a great 4 days of WarCraft this is going to be and has been so far.
Absolutely. We're talking about yesterday, right? I think on this map it was. Some Night Elves want to go to the expansion camp. Did the footy just steal that last hit? Cheeky bugger, he did! AM getting level 2 right away. I think at least he did. Gonna be sacrificed for this one. A bit more experience for the Keeper as well, who got Claws +9. Ooh, baby!
Has to pay for his crimes.
No, never mind. He got Claws +5. Excuse me. The item is still there. We're gonna have a quick little replay. All right. Our observer, was he on the case? Oh, this was too late. Todd, I'm losing it. All right, can we just replace me right now? Something's going wrong.
You're doing great. And Chaemiko actually seeing the creep route of Moon heading for the corner expand, adjusted his own and also went for the corner expo. So that's kind of going to make both expos safer in the first place. Down the line, of course, they could get harassed. But I expect Chaemiko to be a little bit more decisive this game compared to last game. I don't know why, but he was on like 65 supply with like 1k gold. I think he could have just spent that, got an 80 and then attacked, because the army of Moon was like so many Dryads. So if you go up to like 5-6 rifles, this army becomes so much worse all of a sudden. I really think that was the mistake by Chaemiko, was to maybe over-respect the amount of Dryads that they were, but that's also credit to Moon and how aggressive he was.
Item on the ground. Is it there? Oh my god! Periapt. Alright, that's not that big of a deal. Chaemiko trying to get the cancel. Entangle on the Water Elemental. Wisps here for the detonate. Moon should be able to save this expansion if I see it right. But more footies are coming in from the middle. Maybe not. And this cancel would be huge for Chaemiko.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was not supposed to happen. Moon with After 2 masterful games here, definitely slipping up a bit in map number 3 with the movements and getting ready for this attack.
It's also hard, I guess, though, to really secure this expansion, right? He crept it pretty fast. He even ran back to the Moonwells to return quickly to the Expo with mana, even creeping the creep only with the treants there. So it seems like also beautiful timing by Chaemiko, getting that level 3 faster, following up with the pressure. And now Moon in a rough spot. His counter expansion not working out, he's teching instead. But the human tech is almost timed at the same moment.
Yeah, this is great for Chaemiko here. I think Moon might just take the natural here instead. He grabbed the mercenary, so that makes it even better for him to be able to fight now. He needs level 3 really bad for Entangle level 2. Will get it. It's slippers of agility. Do you think for Halloween a keeper could ever dress up as a demon hunter?
Well, he can put on the blindfold, but it would have to cut off his hind legs, so that seems a little bit painful.
It's like a reverse one of those costumes, you know, where you have like somebody carrying someone.
Just in pure darkness, if you have the black pants on, I guess you might not see it. The keeper here needs to get something done. Obviously, the expansion is much, much behind, so Moon now in need of doing big damage. And Chaemiko looking for the expansion bottom right, nothing there, so at the natural, the expansion might finally finish.
Yeah, Chaemiko from there, he should know exactly how to play. Might even, I think, that would be a good game to go for second barracks and then double Sanctum. And then just 2 racks, 2 Sanctum, pump out 60 supply as soon as you can and then just attack the Elf Expo. Literally shortly after he starts mining and break it. He might be able to compete for the center even better as well with this if he was to go for something like that. So curious if he sticks to the usual double Sanctum and Workshop. A Panda is also very likely for both players here in the scenario.
And Moon would love to be just left alone here, but Chaemiko knows before there's Dryads, he can still be very active. Once they come out, things are gonna get more difficult. And Chaemiko is macroing up behind. Quite a bit of gold, tier 2 about to finish. And even the denies still on point.
Yeah, Chaemiko, this might not have killed much, but he's keeping Moon just kind of sitting there and not really achieving anything. And yeah, leveling Archmage past level 3, not very necessary there, so... He's just waiting to be tier 2 so he can get a second hero. There's the second Rax! My man!
You called it, Todd! You saw this one coming. Got some more predictions for us? What's gonna happen next?
He's gonna creep a bit, then push. I think he should go Panda again, but he goes Blood Mage.
First time we see the Blood Mage today with a Siphon and Flamestrike can also be very strong in the late game, specifically against bears. But I don't think Moon has the luxury here to go to bears. He knows he's in trouble. He needs to pump out a big army right now, stay on tier 2,
He needs them
make
bears,
Dryads.
bro.
Excuse me?
He needs them bears, bro.
I guess he does. I don't know what you're referencing right now. Sorry, man. I left you hanging. But the lures shall be coming up. Will not quite be getting cancelled. Chaemiko again. Like we saw kind of on Echo Isles. Very active in the early mid-game stages, trying to prevent the opponent from creeping as much as possible.
Chaemiko's Slumber has been a big problem in a lot of those games here. He's getting +1 early for rifles. I think he's making farms sometimes a little too early as well, which, yes, it only costs 20 lumber, but that's also a peasant that's not mining lumber for a while when you're doing that. So maybe he could have waited to be on 50, because you see he's already out of 54 and then made more farms. But yeah, we have double rifle production that's going to be getting on the way. And the Sanctum just finished, the 1 Sanctum. He queues 1 Priest into Adept training. I kind of like that. You don't want to overmake Priest in the first place. You do need the upgrade as well. He's going to start draining some of that mana away here with the Siphon.
And the Panda wasn't quite getting moved. Oh my god. Did he get 1.4 on the Blood Mage? Yoink! What a last hit. Blood Mage has the weirdest attack animation of like all heroes.
It didn't even look real. It looked like he threw a paper plane at the creep and he somehow got it.
Nice last hit skills, bro. He must be a mid laner in Dota. That's why he's such a deep.
What position do you play?
Off lane, bro. Off lane for life.
I knew there was no chance you were a support player. Chaemiko might want to pull back here, but then again, there's not really any mana on either here. This is so weird too. Like, Keeper 3, Panda 1.5, 0 mana on both heroes. Almost awkward. I guess Chaemiko can feed a lot of mana to his Archmage, just spam Water Elementals and be the one to try and compete to secure some of these creeps and items in center. Maybe pull the lab. That'd be good.
Moon is trying to buy time as he's now going to tier 3, looking towards those bears. If he manages to build that big bear army, that tends to do very, very well against rifles. So there's also a bit of a timer on Chaemiko, right? To go for an attack rather soon.
Yeah. He's getting refined gunpowder, so +2 for rifles. And yeah, the second Sanctum will come into play. I think you probably want to get like 3 to 4 priests and then start going into sorceresses already, just in case there's like 1 or 2 bears, because then you really need that against them. But really, the important thing is mass rifles. Just get a lot of rifles to deal with any kind of army. And he's just gonna buy a scroll and then a double scroll and then maybe attack. Archmage, what are you doing? Archmage! Archmage, run! I think he should just crab the shop. I think he has enough time, but Chaemiko seems to think he needs to eat right now, so he was already sending militia, unless those were to help these rifles that were getting caught here. Again, Moon, this is like the type of movement that he does the best in the world. Like when I've met him on ladder, I was like, what is this even? I didn't even know you could do this. Like he's literally harassing you and entangling you to death while he's creeping his second hero perfectly.
Absolutely. The Dryad hit and run. He excels at. I love how you're saying he's creeping his second hero perfectly. And loses the archer right away. But it won't
He meant to do that. He didn't want ineffective supply. How dare you doubt
I'm not so sure about that, but sure. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Why not? But here we go. We finally have the big push. Moon with the Keeper and Dryads was trying to delay this as much as he could, but he couldn't quite stop it. Chaemiko says hello at the expo with 66 supply. Quite a big force.
Where's the militia? You're supposed to bring militia here to force towers. As to say to the elf, you have to engage it to me right now. Moon is expanding one more time.
What? The confidence on him. He's sure he can fend off this attack or hold it.
He's not
or delay
it. Though. I think he's gonna die.
Maybe also with that he can afford to lose the expansion and hold in the main.
I mean, that would be next level thinking ahead here. Like we're talking Magnus Carlsen, you know, advanced moves.
Oh my god, the block from the rifleman though, this Keeper will make it away and can staff home, but that was one of the moves that Chaemiko is known for, his blocks and surrounds out of this world.
Yeah, he's building an Chateau 4 at the expo to buy even more time. He's pulling every little tricks, man. Well, that's actually getting cancelled immediately, but I like the thought of that. If that had been closer to finishing, might have been cool. But yeah, Chaemiko's doing the right thing here, like forcing some towers to try and not give a choice to Moon and tell him like, okay, you have to engage now. And Moon, he keeps on doing the same thing. He keeps on trying to catch reinforcements, finally going for the engagements here. He has no bears. It's just pure Dryads against massed rifles.
Watch Elementals getting summoned, but of course easily dispelled, but the Dryads taking a lot of damage from these rifles. Panda makes it to 3, but he's out of mana, no more Breath of Fire. Chaemiko definitely seems to be ahead when it comes to the pure army battles, but Moon can still play this hit and run. Look for reinforcements and also pull the human out of position. Towers are coming up at the expansion. This expo might fall. Dude, did Moon seriously predict that the expansion was going to go down and he couldn't hold it and he prepared with a new expo? That
seems pretty nuts to me, like if he did that. I still think that he's in so much trouble because
and now he TP's home. He killed one more rifle and he can cancel all the towers, Moon.
Oh my god.
After this early game, he was so far behind, but look at these plays, man. That is why he is the greatest of all time.
Chaemiko's probably like, okay, this is not fun now. Just please stand there and fight me. Like I made rifles, you made Dryads. You're supposed to just lose your units, and then I'm gonna be way ahead and then just win. Moon is about to start saturating the expansion in the bottom right. He started mass wisps there, queued straight into that entangled gold mine.
Dude, I am so impressed with Moon. This is not a new occurrence. I've been many times, but the game sense to realize he can buy so much time against this dangerous push that he can set up this expo. Panda comes in, full mana, Drunken Haste, Breath of Fire, good damage. We have one more heal scroll still left on the human side. Panda is now dry. Dryad positioning, of course, perfect, as always. Pulls him back. Minimizing the losses here very well is Moon, who's still only playing Dryads. Panda in trouble, there must be a staff. Oh no! No, there was! There was a staff, but he misses that one. Moon, after a magnificent mid-game, making the first big mistake here.
Yeah, it's just too much damage. Mass Dryads will never beat mass rifles. You would have had to find another shortcut here, perhaps to base race more, kill the peasants, counter-attack. But you talked about it. He has that expansion in the bottom right. Is Chaemiko able to make the reads that this is there? This is a great moment where if you're Chaemiko, you're like, all right, this is amazing. I killed this expo. What's the one thing that could give me trouble now? Number one, Mountain Giants, because he's just on pure rifles. Number two, if maybe Moon has an extra base. So look at what he's doing. He's sending a Wet Elemental to scouts. He's going to see that there's the Expo and snipe it. Or at least force another fight that Moon doesn't want to take just yet, probably.
Oh, and the Keeper getting caught. How is Moon always in the right spot? Super sick, but the staff will get him out of there. And it does feel like Moon has to hold this Expo. If this one falls, it doesn't seem like he can recover.
But I don't think he can fight. He might just let it mine for as long as he can, detonate the Wisp, and then try to make it to a little bit more supply. But yeah, maybe he's going to agree with you and try and take the fight. But I think it's a mistake. I don't think he can win that fight ever.
Keeper on the left, Panda on the right. Riot split half and half. And in we go.
Wait,
Chaemiko just committing to the tree, and yeah, Flame Strike does enough damage.
He should have just
out.
Oh, that's a mistake, actually. Because he has massed rifles against massed Dryads here. He would kill so many of those Dryads, he would just like level up completely out of control. I'm not a big fan of that. Then again, on this map, rifles are still pretty good to creep, like let's say the red, if you wanted to pull that now and creep it. You might just get a bunch of mortars with fractures and inner fire. He wanted to keep the rifles alive for the inner fire, which, as we know, is the best combo in this whole game, Remo.
Ain't that the truth, sir? And Chaemiko seems to be cruising now towards the late game with tier 3. Lots of upgrades coming in for him. Inner fire, as you just mentioned, and also Knights, which is kind of surprising considering the Dryads, but maybe he's expecting some Mountain Giants to be coming in. Maybe he's covering his bases. He's like, all right, as you said earlier, the Mountain Giants would be a problem.
Oh, the invis! 2 hit points! I thought I was dead for sure because the staff was down, but Chaemiko with another sick save. What a series this has been. Dryads can't go too deep, actually. They might get cornered a bunch here. And if he starts losing some of them, those do give a good chunk of experience. A peasant is gonna block another Dryad in.
Oh, wow.
Just stuck inside.
Chaemiko is certainly now enjoying himself. It was a bit rough earlier when he was getting caught out. Moon is, however, the master of comebacks. This is a horrible position for Moon and would be for any Night Elf. But if someone can find some way to get back into this, it is Moon. Hit and run, economy harass, I guess that seems to be the only option he has right now.
I wonder if he might go MGs because there is no bear upgrades so far from what I can see.
Dude, he's making 2 trees of life right
now.
Yeah,
that's why I'm thinking MGs. Because he's seeing massed rifles. So he might just hit and run endlessly. A Knight shows up at the bottom right and finds the Expo. And he's actually going to do a lot of damage. The bottom right hand side, the bottom right Expo. Yeah, this one. And the Keeper immediately staffs. So this is odd. Both of them are playing insane. Like so many little details like this. Now he knows about the Expo. Moon's trying to catch that Knight in the center. He's going hunting. He's unleashed the Hound's Dryads on him. Find him.
Sick him! And this Knight, actually not quite going down. Should be staffed out. There we go. Saved once again. Chaemiko would love to just take a straight up fight. He knows how strong he is. Does now have inner fire. Does have the 80 supply. Moon now not in a position to counterattack at the moment. It's looking very rough now for our Night Elf player.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time coming. We might have the big fight here with all of those rifles against the Dryads. Moon doing what he can, targeting the casters up first, but the Dryads are going to fall very rapidly, especially now that there is inner fire. Those rifles have so much armor and damage. And the inevitable
win here for Chaemiko. He's gonna make this a bit closer. We were all worried to see a quick 3-0 here, but no, one map at least he will be able to claim. Autumn Leaves. It went really well for him at the beginning, right? Level 3 Archmage, making it across the map, the creep route, game plan, scouting, all working out very well for Chaemiko. Moon was behind quite early on in this game. The Keeper pretty low level was a big problem, and of course the expansion getting cancelled, delayed for so long. We saw sparks of genius again when he made the double tree and played the hit and run once more, but he was a bit too far behind to still win that game. I wonder, if he doesn't lose the Panda, does that game look very differently, or didn't that make so much of a difference?
He should have lost a long time ago, regardless, I think. But, I mean, maybe it would have helped the situation a little bit, but I think he was in trouble the entire game after that Footman, I think, stole the creep, and then just Keeper level 3 was prevented for such a long time. Once we get the tree cancelled here, it's almost like over instantly. It's so hard to recover from that. He somehow salvaged that position, but I think Chaemiko was just ahead the entire game, and he had the right decision with the strategy here. And now we're headed to Shadowgraves, which Chaemiko prioritized over Conceal Hill. He picked that over Conceal Hill, so he must be somewhat confident. It was Moon's pick last game on Autumn Leaves, but Shadowgraves, we're gonna see it again, Remo.
Gives us Epic Games normally. But first we're gonna bring it back to Carson for some more Weatherman analysis.
All right, so this is a pretty simple clip in the early game, but as so often, these games do come down to sometimes the first 5 to 10 minutes or so. So this is Chaemiko pressuring in the early game with the footman. And you might be asking yourself, he's losing a lot of footmen to the entangle, but as you can see, these are all going to die and he's not going to get a ton of damage done. What's important though, he's delaying, he's macroing behind it. Yes, he's going to lose these footmen, but he's ensuring with the Archmage right now at the expansion, he's killing a priest there and the footmen are delaying the lures. What this does is it sets Chaemiko up later to do that big timing that eventually killed the expansion and then the other expansion. It's very, very crucial in this matchup to not take a ton of damage if you're the human economically so that you can macro up to tier 2, get that big strong army, and then push. And it's these sort of delays, sacrificing the footmen, using the Archmage to pressure as well, that gives you success as a human in this matchup. Just the one from me, and we'll throw it back to the boys in the casting booth now.
All right, short and sweet, as did this game feel as well. It was pretty simple. AM very strong, Keeper was too slow, Expo was delayed. That's a pretty clear-cut game. Autumn Leaves has been in the map pool for quite some time, so I think Chaemiko had some good time to prepare, get that perfect opening. It seemed like a perfect opening going. Yeah. Shallow Grave, very much uncharted waters. We don't know really what to expect yet. It's a Merc camp available early, which is kind of rare on the new maps, especially for the human. Very approachable, perhaps a bit tougher for the Night Elf. What are we going to see here? It's not very clear. It hasn't been yet streamlined. We know a Warden, by the way, could be a possibility again. As we're going to load in onto our 4th map. Moon with the lead still, and match point. I did it again. We have him here, the 5th race.
His opponents playing human in the yellow. He finally brought it back in the last game. It is Chaemiko. And Moon got his Ancient of War cancelled by the creeps at the expansion.
Huge mistake by Moon. We talked about the new map. The players don't have so much experience with it yet. He made an Ancient of War a second ago at the natural, but too close to the creeps. Had to cancel it. And that means he loses very valuable gold and lumber at the beginning, especially lumber. He's also going for a neutral hero build. But man,
look at him.
That's a big problem.
Look at him. He's got his hand on his chin here. I think he realized the importance of this moment and that you cannot be making this kind of mistakes. Obviously, it's Moon. I don't expect him to be too affected by this going further in the game, but that was a big mistake that you would never expect out of him.
Yeah. Maybe he only tried this creep route on the other side of the map so far and didn't know exactly how close he could build this.
Maybe he made like 1 pixel too close.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too. 1 tile too close. Altar's coming up now. I think that's a little bit later than ideal because, of course, the lumber was missing.
Yeah.
So this neutral hero is going to be delayed quite a bit.
And I talked about it yesterday when Lolite was playing against Hawk on this map. If you could guess your opponent's hero perfectly as the human, then if you know that it's going to be a Tavern hero or a Keeper, you'd want to creep the Merc camp first. If you know that it's a Warden, you'd probably want to creep what Chaemiko's creeping now, or even the expansion first. Now it seems like Chaemiko thought there might be a Warden or decent chance of it, so he went for that camp up first. But it is a Tavern hero, as we're seeing. So Moon, if he goes for something like a Beastmaster there, it's actually going to be completely okay for him, despite, being slowed down by the early game mistake of losing his Enchant of War. What is it going to be? Panda, Beastmaster, Tinker, Pitlord? No, probably not. It's a Beastmaster. So somewhat reminiscent of the games that we see on Last Refuge.
Yeah, and you mentioned already Last Refuge, where you see him a lot. Very strong there. A little bit weaker on this map because he can't creep the Merc camp first. Oh, Money Detonate coming in there, though. Maybe a slight mistake by Chaemiko, offering up that Water Elemental so easily. It's valuable experience for the Beastmaster, who's going Bear first.
Moon got purged on his Bear. So he's still alive, but makes me question how much he's played on this map, because he's definitely struggling a little bit more than usual here. Early on, he's going to start the tree towards the expansion that he can just then move later. So if he's able to get that up and get the early expansion, that would be his comfort zone. The question is Chaemiko able to threaten that here with the Ring of Protection,
Is it the double ring time? Nope. Ring and Talisman.
Even worse.
That is not going to be
He can sell
something
it.
that the Archmage is going to be happy about. Yeah, could sell it, of course, for more gold. For a second hero, like a MK Panda, would be really good, but that's far in the future at the moment. Here we go, Moon creeping up now at the Merc camp. Very predictable. I think Chaemiko knows this is happening. Creeping up himself, and will be getting that level 3. Can he again be as effective as he was before with that level 3 Archmage?
Yeah, usually you always know that Chaemiko, once he gets level 3, he's not going to sit around, do nothing. He'll always be very aggressive. He'll always be in the right place. He's already checking on the right-hand side for the tree, and he found it with a footman. So you always want to look at the progress bar and think to yourself, can I get there and cancel it on time? I'm not sure what he might do. He's running to the shop. He might buy a staff to the tree and try and get the cancel here in a second. He buys the staff. Here we go. Is he able to get it? The tree is already 60%. There is 2 wisps nearby. Moon knew about that possibility. He might double detonate the water elemental immediately, which is the highest damage here in this army.
He's got the Shadow Priest as well. The rest of the army is coming in. He's not moving for a second. This should be a cancel. Where's the Shadow Priest? He forgot about it. Didn't have it in the group for a second. That's a big deal. Water elemental taken out only very late. It is taken out, and that's level 3. Beastmaster with an important level up. Shadow Priest finally joins. That one being late to the party did hurt him here quite a bit. That's a huge delay on the counter expo.
Yeah, quite a disaster here. I'm surprised he didn't double detonate the water because it does so much damage. It's almost like the entire damage of this army. Or like the scariest thing that's attacking the tree. So you want to double detonate and target it immediately, really to get it out of there instantly. In the past, we've seen Moon do that so well, but now one of the 2 wisps that he had there started a Moonwell for some reason. I guess he wanted to have a Moonwell near the expo, but the thing is, you have to get the expo first, and now that got cancelled somewhat because of that as well. We see defense starting now for Chaemiko. And I tell you what, whatever second hero he gets, if he gets like a melee one, like a Panda, that Panda's going to be pretty happy to already have a ring plus evasion into the game.
Absolutely. Moon, by the way, going with Quilby's level 2. We saw by Lawlight yesterday how strong the Bash Bear can be, but Moon has always been a big fan of the Quilbeasts. We see it here again. AM looking for that expansion. He's sure there must be a Tree of Life somewhere, but actually, there isn't. Moon going for the attack across the map. The Quilbeast very strong now at dealing with the towers, but Chaemiko very ready as well with the repair.
Yeah, this is dangerous, because Quilbeast level 2 here are going to do a lot. And he still has the Greater Mana. My god, this attack might do so much, actually. If you can get rid of the Water Elemental quickly, abolish, and perhaps another one. There it is. Gets rid of the Water Elemental. And now it's just 1 Footman and 1 Archmage. So you have to expect Militia to be coming in any second, but Chaemiko hasn't started tech yet. Oh, yes, never mind. He just did.
Chop in the middle, by the way. This is starting to look quite all in by Moon. Naga second, follow-up, keep pushing. That could make sense. Summons more of his units here with the Beastmaster. I was about to say summons more summons, but that doesn't sound good. I said anyways. How smart of me. Here comes the Naga. Gonna join in the fun now. Is gonna be able to buy potions here soon as well. And Moon still not expanding. He's on a timer. Chaemiko, if this game goes long enough with a 2 base, will be winning this game.
Yeah, Moon needs to do a lot of damage here. Maybe force a TP on the Archmage, maybe even kill it. Probably not gonna happen though. But the tech started really late. That means no access to potions for a very long time here for Chaemiko. And when you use that Greater Mana here, you're really committing to doing more and more with this attack. He needs to keep the Beastmaster back. Militia comes in from behind. You want to snipe those peasants here. Human already is short on lumber. You can shorten him even more on that front and prevent him from getting, you know, more towers, sanctums, all that. Really just keep slowing him down. Moon's not expanding at all here. He's just trying to get 1 lore back at home. Surprised he hasn't started another one.
Oh, that tower in the main, not quite finished yet. Should be an easy cancel. Oh yeah, it sure is. Oh baby. It's a lot of piercing damage. The footmen are good against that, but everything else that's being sent in just seems to be running into a meat grinder.
The choice of going Quilbeast level 2 was so smart, by the way, because they are less costly than the Bear, but they're just as effective here at this stage. And because he was going to go Naga second, and he has the melee damage, or I guess hero attack for the Footmen, he could just get rid of them anyway. So when there's not many Footmen with defend here, this army is just going to do fine against everything else.
Well, the Archmage now getting pressured against the Frost Arrow. He's going to have a tough time. Level 2 on the Naga. Level 1 Fog Lightning, not really helpful, but the stats on her appreciated. Footy also across the map scouting, seeing what's going on. And seeing no Tree of Life there, seeing no tech. Chaemiko knows Moon is super all-in, but this all-in might work out.
Oh, he's staffed there, because so many units are low and he wanted to replenish. Chaemiko has nothing in center, and Keep is about to finish in 6 seconds. It feels like he needs to be buying a panda immediately or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
As soon as that finishes, but he has nothing ready in the middle of the map. Surrounds both heroes. The town portal is on the Naga. That would have been maybe good to target the Beastmaster here. Put both heroes low HP, but I think Moon's just gonna town portal in a second here with the Naga. And kill as much as he can just before that. Chaemiko actually saved a lot of footmen in the top right here that were replenishing hit points.
We have to take a look at the Night Elf main base. How much Moon Juice is there? A little bit was available, but not full HP on everything. Tier 3 has now started for Moon. Quite a while ago, actually. About a minute. The Footy does see this. And now with the opponent forced away, Chaemiko does have the time for the MK. Interesting choice, right? MK not known for being so strong on level 1.
Yeah.
But I guess he does want to have that Stormbolt to work with.
Maybe because Moon lost town portal. So his plan might just be to target heroes and get hero kills. Especially that Naga. Imagine he gets that Naga out of there. Then he can go for the Beastmaster immediately after. Of course, there should be a Staff of Preservation and then Bears. And a Bear bust all-in is, I think, what's coming here from Moon. I don't see any Tree of Life starting anywhere. He might just spam Bears. Of course, now when they're on Master Training, they come out with double Rejuve. So you almost want to take damage, pull back, double Rejuve, and then re-engage all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's where Night Elf can be super
Staff.
cost efficient. That Berserker is an important part of the army. Staff use saves that one, but that means the next Stormbolt should be a kill.
Yeah, if Moon gets bolted here, he usually turns around and re-engages immediately. Roar used on everything. Great value here.
Trying to take out that Bear. Should have enough damage. Rejuve comes in though. Bear off to the side. Might be able to save this. This first Bear is so important. Master Trading, soon to be finished Bear. Little bit of mismicro there by Moon. Could have saved it off to the side, but no, the Bear will go down. But it did take a lot of damage to actually get rid of it. We still have a token Bear, a replacement Bear in here with the Raging Bear, which does now have Bash. The Footy's trying to hold the line. They will be going down. They're being sacrificed here for Chaemiko to get enough time for a stronger Tier 2 army. But his lumber is so low, Todd. He can't even make enough Tier 2 buildings.
Yeah, and Chaemiko, he's supply blocked actually. 39 out of 42. He can't make a lot of units. I think he's flustered. He's making a lot of mistakes here.
A town is under siege.
Tough game, of course. He's under so much pressure. Hard to manage everything perfectly. I think that attack by Moon into the main was so smart, even if it cost him a TP in the end. He forced Militia off the line for so long and killed so many of those
the
peasants as well.
On the right side. Oh my god. He almost ran into the Expo again.
Oh, goodness.
He must have thought he was crept, so he just sent it there, and then suddenly the creeps started attacking him, but he was looking on the left-hand side where he's about to be attacked. And this Arbor is like, yeah, I got no business being here. Be right there, guys. I'll be with you.
He has his staff back now, behind his building at the Expo. In fact, okay, I wasn't aware that the Sanctum was already finished, so he can make now casters finally. MK stuck in the main. He's gonna have a tough time rejoining the army at the expansion. I say army, but what kind of army is this really? It's a couple of footmen, and only 40 supply for Chaemiko. So much gold, but no way to spend it.
What a sick prioritization here by Moon to go for these buildings, just seeing them there at the Expo. I think maybe if he hadn't seen them, he might have tried to either buzz the Expo or go for the main. Now he's done enough damage, he's like, okay, you wanna get mass towers, I'll go for the main instead. And he's mountain king. Is he just stuck? Nobody puts Gimli in a corner.
He's putting himself way in the corner, doesn't want to get targeted here. AM and the rest of the force has to join in again. Farm's getting taken out. This is going to supply block Chaemiko again. What a devastating mid-game here. He's got so much gold again, but no way to spend it.
2,000 gold, 17 lumber. Moon's breaking the farms. He's going to supply block him even more here. 41 supply.
And 3 lumber for Chaemiko. He can't even make farms right now. The economy might be breaking Chaemiko's neck. The peasants falling, very, very much indicative of the humans' plight in the meta nowadays in many matchups. Moon bouncing back and forth between these bases. Always going to be attacking the one that is more assailable, where there's no army defending. Super smart play by Moon. This was a rough early game. Very rough early game for Moon, but again he turns it around.
Chaemiko made a lot of mistakes. Like, I cannot believe he made 5 towers in the Expo. That's what cost him all of his lumber. Instead of these towers, he could have just made sanctums inside of the main base. I think he even had maybe a bit more space. I mean, one of them did go up there. He's getting a second one now in the main. Blacksmith is gonna die. That means no more rifles can be produced. And believe it or not, you need some of them. Moon staffed the Beastmaster at home to replenish full mana on him to have more summons. It's the perfect time to do so because there is no Dispel.
Yeah, exactly.
And he grabs the second staff. He has double staff to work with now. Moon can save everything that he wants in the fight.
Heroes that rely on summons will oftentimes fall off in the late game because of Dispel. But Moon putting the screws here on Chaemiko, never allowing any kind of priest, any kind of dispel to come out.
Dude, Chaemiko, take some peasants from the gold and put them on lumber, please. This is ridiculous. He has 2,500 gold.
My goodness.
Just no lumber whatsoever. Moon with a relentless siege. He can smell blood in the water despite the really dicey early game. I cannot believe he lost his Enchanter 4 on creeps like this and struggled the entire start. Got his 3 cancelled and still found the one way he could make an attack work here.
Moon gonna take a breather, fall back finally. He killed so much, he's got such a sick experience lead. Maybe now he even has the time to counter-expand, but hard to tell. Chaemiko finally has lumber, finally will have some buildings, and can go into a huge army soon with all this.
He doesn't need to send everything. Look at this. He's sending the ranged units to creep the expo by themselves. That is going to be even more experience he's going to gain on his other 2 heroes, and he's pressuring with the bears and the heroes only, Remo.
Wow. Wow. Sick fighting spirit by Moon, showing the championship caliber kind of player that he is. Remember, this game started with an Ancient of War having to be cancelled because he placed it in the wrong spot. And then he comes back like this with the Beastmaster. Absolutely amazing. Inspiring what he's doing here. Now not finding too many kills anymore, but yeah, the expansion is being crept, as you said.
He got his 3 cancelled after too. I feel like a lot of players on ladder, they would just leave after that. Moon's like, nope. 1 base bear bus. That's the way here. Drops a crystal ball at the expo. Now those units going to be able to rejoin the rest in a second. Chaemiko, you know, it might sound crazy, but he still can win this. If he's able to build up his army counts, he just needs like 3 sorceresses, 2 or 3 priests, start building up a breaker count, get rifles. Just spend that bank of yours. But he's not being allowed to by Moon. He doesn't have permission to make units.
Yeah. Chaemiko may not have played completely perfectly, but this is largely thanks to Moon playing so aggressively, doing this so well, the fact that Chaemiko cannot spend his money. But now perhaps finally he can. 3,200 gold, by the way. That's the record so far for this tournament. And I think this is going to stay the record as well. Can't see this one being eclipsed.
Yeah. Usually when you see that much gold, it's because the player is on 80 supply and is waiting a long time before breaking into 100s. Now, his dream is to break 50 supply, Remo. That's all he's ever wanted in his whole life. And Moon finally gonna pull back a little bit, creep a little more. I think he can see he's close to level 5 Beastmaster. Naga also very close to level 4. And because Moon has his own expo, there is not as much urgency to be as aggressive. And that's gonna give room for the Mountain King to start leveling and at least get level 2 here in a second if he pulls back the Archmage. But even this army, like there's nothing, there's no damage in this. He has to keep the Archmage there, otherwise he wouldn't have the damage to clear this camp.
Yeah, exactly. Chaemiko will have a big army soon, but he doesn't have it yet, which means Moon is still stronger right now, which means he has map control. He is in full control of this map, hence the term. And this map is super strong. If you do have map control, you can creep these 2 center camps, which are super rewarding. Lots of experience, big consumables. The Book of the Dead, possibly the worst item he could have gotten, but still might find some use for it. Will get the level 5 and 4 level ups. The Blink Bash Bear, we have seen before look very, very strong in Lolite's hands, but as I said, Moon normally a big fan of the Quill Beast. Hasn't decided quite yet.
Chaemiko took forever to creep that mercenary camp. And then now we got Beastmaster level 5, Naga level 4. Moon starting to work with some upgrades. I really like that he started queuing upgrades here when he reached 50 supply because he knew he could save a bit of gold here for some time. Seems content with a level 4 Naga, so yeah, instead the Pit Lord's going to be leveling. I think he knows that there's going to be a backline of like rifle, mortar, so it's almost like a Sonic-esque move where you get that Pit Lord. Usually for Rain of Fire, but yeah, he opens up with Cleave first here.
I thought the same, the Pit Lord third, far from the norm, but I like it. I really like it.
Oh, item on the ground at the expo. Here we go again. Crystal Ball for Christmas.
Yeah, this time Moon actually wasn't close by to pick it up with anything. Chaemiko won't appreciate that item too much, I guess. TP home force.
All I want for Christmas
is it Crystal Ball?
Is to stop dropping rings.
If you're gonna be a good boy, Todd, perhaps Santa will reward you. Chaemiko, it says 82 supply. Where are all his units? I don't see him. This is looking like a tiny army.
Yeah. Even though he has 82, that's because a lot of units are queued in those buildings and are rejoining that location. He's producing units 4x4. Dude, Chaemiko is on 85 supply and he still has 1800 gold. He might make it to 100 supply somehow. I never thought that was going to be the case. He just kept getting shut down over and over. What a game win it would be if he was somehow able to pull through. But Moon, 78 supply, is getting a ton of upgrades. He's working on his bear count. No Ancient of Wind, though. He's just gonna...
Players' forces are under attack.
Sick movement also on Naga and Beastmaster, just trying to buy time for the
He's gonna
Pit Lord
take the fight.
to creep the red. Is he gonna take it or is he gonna TP out? Lots of roar being used.
Oh my god, that bear.
Bash Bear gonna force Chaemiko to TP out with 87 supply. Chaemiko doesn't feel quite ready yet.
He TP to the main. That's a mistake. I think he should have TP to the Expo and then done the Merchant at the bottom and
Yeah,
the red
true,
camp.
true,
Because now that's gonna give room for Moon to run down there and contest that.
Yeah, and Moon knows that Chaemiko wants to keep on creeping, so he could just hit the main right now.
Dude, Chaemiko has 97 supply with a hero 3.6 and 2.4. This is the lowest level 2 heroes I've ever seen with this composition. He gets control magic. He might be able to like steal some Quill Beast if he dispels first. I cannot believe he still has a chance. I really thought he was out of it, but I mean, does he really have a chance? Like, his army is bigger, but his heroes are way worse.
Yeah, exactly. That's the story right now. Chaemiko with the bigger army, but it's also only tier 2, right? Ideally, would love to have tier 3 here, Inner Fire and all that. But I think it's mainly the MK. MK not having level 3 yet, and I think Moon realizes this. Trying to look for the fight right now, while the MK still isn't leveled up.
Oh no, the bear. The magic bear. Gets sniped. He's still carrying Crystal Balls somehow. You would have think he'd sell this, but he's like, I already got all the gold in the world. I don't need no more. Mountain King's still far away from level 3.
A player's
Is that 4 healing scrolls?
4 heal scrolls, Todd. He finally
Dude.
spent his bank. Is that
Can
gonna be-
Chaemiko win this? This is the most insane game I've seen in a while here. Moon is going to engage with about 80 supply. He knows that if he's in trouble, he can staff a lot of those bears. He can pull back on time. There wouldn't be much that can actually chase him very effectively. He's trying to snipe some of the squishy units. I'm so surprised that there is no Fairy Dragons, but he's going into double wind behind this, and he's expanding one more time.
Dude, what a beautiful collapse this was by Moon once again, coming in with the bears from every angle, and the Beastmaster, Bash Bear, and Book of the Dead was in the back, taking out those mortar teams, but still a big force left for both players. The heal scrolls were already used, partly. MK has more, needs to use them, but can't! Fog Lightning comes in, MK taken out, and this might be it. Yes, it is! Moon with one hell of a comeback, wins this series 3-1 off into the semifinals.
Cleave level 2 did work in that last fight here. Moon with a fantastic